on the microwave. I'm going to turn on my computer so I can see myself. Oh, and not burn my hand, so I can see myself as I'm doing this live stream. I do have some of that smoothie left, the grapefruit orange smoothie, and I just kind of snack on it. It's now about 9:20 at night. I ate at lunch. I ate a somewhat substantial lunch today. But now I'm a little hungry because I haven't ate since 12 in the afternoon. But my energies, man. My energy's off the hook. And I'll tell you something. I really like these leggings. These are the cutest leggings. They're so cute. I love these new leggings. Well, they're not new. I've had them for a while. But anyhow, my friends, let's make some tortilla pizzas. That's what I want to do. You can do whatever you like. But you can also follow along with me. So, I'm going to look. On my YouTubers. Just so I can see, so I can watch myself in real time as I'm doing this with you guys. And I have been live streaming on the camera. So it's a little bit more clear. It's a little bit more crystal clear. As people were like, oh my gosh, it's pixie. It's pixelated-y. Okay, well not this time, my friends. It's not pixelated this time, is it? Is it pixelated this time? No, it is not. But we need to get everything for making our little tortilla pizza. We need our little knife for cutting up veggies, okay? We need, I'm going to use this little dude to scrape things out. And I'm going to use a cutting board. So I'm going to get out my cutting board. Okay, so I wash and I rinse things off as I put them back in the dishwasher. But I need to do a big run in the dishwasher. A big run! It needs to do a big run. So, yep. The first thing I want to do is I think I want to clean my bell pepper. Get it nice and cleansed. So my mom has been talking about how she really likes those spring rolls that we got at Costco. They're really good. Yeah. And I kind of want to make my own though too. But I love, there's still a lot of dirt on this bell pepper. Like he went rolling through the mud or something. He probably did. He's a bell pepper. Of course he went rolling through the mud. He's a bell pepper. He went rolling through the mud. I'm sure he did. So do you think trains are beautiful? I just think trains, like the modern, not like clunky old trains that had like a whole bunch of, you know, coal dust coming out. No, I'm talking about sleek, beautiful modern trains. I just think our new train, I still haven't rode the train yet. I want to ride the train. I want to ride the train. Where did this flip-flop exuberance come from? You know where? I don't know. Just because, weight has been lifted. It's too hot. Honestly, I slept more this week. I always say, oh, I'm not going to worry about sleep. No. I almost overslept today. Sleep is important. I'll probably end up, the only thing is Thursday going into Friday, it gets a little bit more tricky because I have to get up super early on Fridays and Saturdays. These tend to be my trickiest days coming up, but I'm going to try and persevere because I do need to get up like around 4:30 to 5 to get out of here on time on both those days. Actually, preferably on a Friday night. Going to Saturday morning, I need to get up like 4. Just if I want to have good timing, you see. Because I don't like to rush. I like to take time doing my hair, eating, looking, I don't know, at the computer. Honestly, sometimes like doing things for the back end of my YouTube where I just end up like looking at social media. Maybe those things are taking up a little bit too much time. So I'm going to try and make a better, more concerted effort to focus on getting my hair done. And I know some people are like, but why? Like, why do you... I don't like to rush. I like to be very gentle when I brush my hair. And now that my hair is getting longer again, I just feel like, yeah, I'm going to be doing that more. I'm really going to be focusing on doing that more, for surely. That's going to be my priority, is making sure that I don't rush doing my hair. Hi, Casey. How you doing? Like, I want to be very gentle with my hair. So, you know, on my other channel, I do a lot of hair content. This channel is more of my hodgepodge channel. It's a little bit of everything. It's like cooking, and I've been meaning to bring art back, but I haven't really got around to bringing art back just because the way I do art is thus. Like, I like to take my time on an art project, so I know you have to set aside time, but I just find, like, it's a lot easier for me to, because I cook a lot, you know, all the time. Well, even if I'm not making something elaborate, I cook. Everybody cooks. So I feel like that's a little bit easier to do than some of the other things. But that's just my take on that. Hope everybody's doing well, you know? So, yeah. Yep. I love to cook, but I also love raw bell pepper. It's so good. I'm going to do 2 different kinds of tortilla pizzas this time. I think this first one is going to be an avocado tortilla pizza. I love to chop. I really love to chop veggies. There's something very fun about chopping up your vegetables. There just is. So, maybe I have a slightly different opinion about people who put their kids on YouTube than some other people do. Okay, so I feel like the micromanaging part of the world, thank you, thinks people shouldn't ever put their kids on YouTube because, oh, they want to like criticize what somebody else is doing. I'm not saying that all the parents on YouTube are perfect, and a lot of them probably do make bad choices, but part of the reason I'm not planning on ever having children, honestly, no, that's not in the stars for me, I'm not. But one of the reasons I think I wouldn't want to put my child on YouTube is thus. I just don't think I would want all the people that are like Karens like commenting on what my child does and how I raise my child. Like, personally, that to me, like, I feel like it's good to have like talks and share food and different content and different types of opinions, but I just feel like when the kids are young, maybe you could have them on sometimes. But like, I was feeling a little triggered when I watched this one channel because I don't know why it showed up in my feed. I guess it was trending or something. But people are criticizing this mother who's 19, almost 20, because her daughter's 5 and she has some cavities, and they're telling her, oh, it's because you feed your daughter sugar. And they're writing really rude comments, like, just like, this is not, like, okay, here's my opinion about this. And this is why I stopped, like, commenting on any kind of forum, or I'm just very selective, like, about what I write on YouTube. You want to write a rude comment to someone, you're not going to improve, like, that person's life or make them make a better choice. And I think some people think, like, just putting things in kind of a, like, crass, in your face, rude kind of way is going to make people be like, oh my gosh, you're so right, I messed up, I want to listen to your mean, snotty comment. Like, especially when you're like, oh, so-and-so just wants to waste money out the rear end, and they use a bad word for it and just talk about how this person's bad and they're horrible because they don't have their child brush their teeth properly. Is that really going to make that person who has the channel, like, if they read your comment, they're going to be like, oh my god, you're right. I mean, maybe people who are tough as nails, who like that crass kind of... But honestly, I think this is a problem with Americans. Like, this is just my opinion. I think Americans are just kind of rude sometimes to each other. We're too blunt, okay? The British, they don't do that. Like, you see other YouTubers and even people in their comment, I just feel like it's something about American culture, and I feel like this is where the Karen phenomenon kind of came from. Like, can I speak to the manager, just saying whatever sort of pops in your head sort of thing. Like, you know, it'd be fine, like, if you want to tell somebody in a YouTube comment, like, oh, they're kids, like, you should do this and that and try and help them, that's one thing. But I can't help but thinking a lot of trolling, a lot of the, like, snobby comments, like, I don't know, I feel like a lot of them are being generated by Americans. I maybe Europeans do it too, maybe people in Australia do it too, but I feel like it's kind of an American phenomenon, the real snobby, rude commentary. Like, oh, I don't like how people raise their kids, so I'm gonna be in their face. And okay, yeah. And then there's this thing like, well, they put it out there on the internet, so they need to be corrected. I don't know. That's part of the reason why I have no problem with, like, if people want to put their life on the internet. I get, like, people might comment on it, but I don't know. I don't think I would want to, like, just personally, if I had a 5-year-old child that had a cavity, I don't think I'd want to talk about it on YouTube just because of how people act in the comments. It wouldn't be because, like, oh, my child's privacy. It'd be because I don't want to deal with those rude people, and honestly, I just don't put up with it. Like, if somebody leaves a super rude comment on my channel, I don't have time. I have guidelines now. Like, if you can't be respectful and you can't behave yourself, you don't need to comment on my channel. I don't need your viewers. Like, some people say, oh, this is engagement. But I kind of disagree, because I feel like engagement is only as good as the comment. And if your comment isn't something that is, like, the kind of comments that I want on my channel personally would be like it's like having a conversations with a friend or people that, like, resonate with you. And I don't leave comments on channels that I don't disagree with, and I don't seek out content that I don't like. So I feel like that's another thing too that's interesting about this whole parent vlogger thing. Yes, it's that whole keeping up with the Joneses thing, because I guess I've been trying to get down to the whole trolling thing, the whole cyber, and I don't even think it's trolling anymore. I think it's just this competitive thing that, yeah, I don't know, I just don't feel like people in other cultures are, like, looking on YouTube to find some parent who's taking their daughter to the dentist because she needs a tooth filled, and thinking, oh my God, I want to tell her she's such a bad parent. And I think Americans also like to announce things too. They're like, oh, my daughter only ate 5 grams of sugar today. But, you know, yeah, there's a lot of sugar in American food. Cut out the sugar. But I don't think that you need to brag about it or boast about it. And some people still get cavities even if they don't eat sugar. Like, some people are just more predisposed. And I feel like there's a lot of other really bad foods. Like, people aren't worried about, like, eating steak. They're not worried about eating, like, deep fried foods, like, that are just junk food. But they're so worried about sugar. Like, sugar's the devil incarnate. I just don't think, I'm not saying sugar is good. I'm not saying it's the best thing. But I also think, like, a meat-heavy diet could just be as problematic for your teeth. I know people are like, oh, no, because, like, these Inuit cultures ate all meat and they still have their teeth. That's not a good example, especially if you're looking at, like, British ancestry or something. People that have more dental issues, like a lot of European people, have more dental issues. That's just something in their genetic code. And people several hundred years ago had worse teeth than they do now. So, yeah, you probably shouldn't eat a lot of sugar. Honestly, I think eating too much sugar is not good for you. But this obsession with that sugar is the worst thing you could be eating. It's kind of an obsession, I believe. I feel like there's other things. Yeah, I don't know. I just don't agree with it. I know if you want to eat sugar, I don't really care either. You know? Your life, your choice. I'm not here to tell you not to eat sugar. But I also don't think that I would, just because of, like, the kind of comments people leave on YouTube, I personally just wouldn't feel comfortable, like, photographing my children or just putting them on the YouTube. And I know that's the kind of content that makes a lot of money, but I would feel kind of hesitant to do it just because I don't think I want to expose, like, I wouldn't want to expose my children to those kind of comments. And as an adult, like, I feel like, yeah, it's different if you're an adult and somebody says something, But as an adult, you have the ability to maybe just be like, I don't want to comment like this on my channel. But I think a lot of these people that want the views and engagement just for any kind of comment, they're not really worried about the kind of commentary that's taking place in their comment section. So I don't think I'm ever going to watch that person's channel again. I just happened to see this video because it popped up on my feed. But I was just like, that didn't make me feel like that was a good place to be. Like, I feel like without going too much into it, I just want my channel to be a place that people could feel welcomed and feels respectful to everybody, not just like where people are saying whatever they want in the comments, like to make people feel kind of. And I do think that this whole nitpicking, this whole Karen-esque culture, I mean, because I don't know, I don't hear Europeans talking about how they have Karens. I don't hear like Middle Eastern or South American people talking about the Karens in the grocery store. I think the whole Karen concept is kind of an American thing. And I think it's also this control freaky thing. Like, you're so obsessed with what everybody else is doing, like who somebody is talking to, who somebody's doing this, that. It's like everybody is just so obsessed with what everybody else is doing that they can't focus on themselves. Like, I don't know. It's interesting, right? I don't get it. But hey, what do I know? People like Karen culture, I guess, in America. I feel like America is very primed to Karen culture. There's just something about, you know. I'm gonna need a plate for making my little thing. So yeah, and I don't think filming people's the way to mitigate Karen behavior. Like, I feel kind of uncomfortable with that. I know people are like, oh, but TikTok's the problem, man. Okay, can we have the conversation about the TikToks? I don't know. I'm on TikTok, but I don't see all these bad TikToks that everybody else is seeing. You know why? Because you see more of what you're engaging with. Like, if you watch a lot of drama TikTok and you engage with that TikTok, then yeah, you're going to see that. I see TikTok that's like former teachers, people that left teaching. I see crafting TikTok. I see shopping TikTok. I see story time, like book talk. I see like educational TikTok. And honestly, a lot of people that do TikTok repurpose a lot of those things on YouTube. Like, there are some people that do both YouTube and TikTok. So like to say, oh my gosh, like TikTok has all this bad content. Well, YouTube posts a lot of the same stuff, really. So I don't know. Like, if you look around, I don't think it's all that different. It's gonna be kind of like an avocado toast, but it's gonna be a tortilla pizza one. And there's salt on the, well, you know what though? I feel like maybe I need to cut up some olives or something, because maybe that would add some salt content to it. Oh, I know what I could do. This is kind of sneaky weaky, but this is what I want to do. This is my thought. I think I'm all out of my favorite olives, my new favorite olive. I think they went bye-byes. But now I have the Goya olives, which are okay, but they have a pit in the middle. So I might cut up some of those, but I think I'm going to take a little bit of olive juice from this one, because this one says, it says, do not dump this olive water, because it's like a really good olive juice. And I use it like to flavor salad dressings, hummus, and things like that, because this one is so good. This is a very good one. I'm just going to take a little baby bit of you, okay? Like a little baby bit. I'm going to pour it over the top. Just to kind of put some flavoring. And now I'm going to put some of my bell peppers on top. Because this is going to be a bell pepper avocado pizza. So far I just have my avocado. And this one's going to have bell pepper. I'm also going to make a hummus tortilla pizza. Yeah, I'm using non-traditional, like, pizza ingredients. If you want to use traditional ones, you can do that. this is what I'm using tonight. Okay? So I need some space to put him in the air fryer. I'm gonna get my thingy and put him over there. I thought I wanted to add something different to him, so I have the basil from my mom's garden. So I don't know, like, that was just like my little rant for the evening about like social commentary culture. I don't know if it's really the Karen thing. Maybe Karens are just a reflection of American culture, because I just don't hear other countries talk about the Karen phenomenon. I think it's very much an American thing. It's like, I am going to be a busybody. It's like kind of busybody culture, because I feel like in a lot of, like in Japanese society, you wouldn't have that whole, I'm going to speak to the manager because I'm right and you're wrong and you didn't do it the way I want. No, some other cultures, like, they might not like if the customer service is not good, but I don't know, they're just more tactful about something. They're not going to be like, oh my God, you didn't serve me like I'm a goddess. Like, there's just something very, but also the reaction to the Karens is very much an American phenomenon too, you know? I don't know. So, honestly, I don't care either, but I sort of think maybe Karens are not just in, maybe Karens are in YouTube comments. Maybe it's like an American problem and not a Karen specific problem. I'm just beginning to think that, you know, like, I don't know. I could be wrong. But I feel like when you purposely, intentionally, because I like to analyze things. I like to analyze, like, well, why did they do that? Why are they doing this, that, and the other thing? Like, why are people commenting on things they don't like? And then I went and I kind of looked, because I do YouTube, so I know how the app, I know how it works, you know. I'm sure if you're just like a hate commenter, you probably don't realize this. But if you are on the YouTube platform enough, when you click on a comment that somebody leaves, you can see every comment that they left on that channel. And you can see right away, like, these trolly comments or these Karen-esque comments, who's leaving them? Or why are they leaving them? And then you look, and they've left hundreds of comments like this on somebody's channel. And I'm like, are you just that lonely or sad, or you just are that opinionated or perfect? I don't know. It's interesting, but let's just let the Karens be, because Karens seem to know everything. Or maybe it's an American culture thing. I don't know. But this would be the reason that I don't think I'd want to put my child on YouTube. Just for those reasons. It's not because I think, oh my gosh, like, their privacy is destroyed, like, in general. Like, I'm not even worried about, like, well, yeah, there's bad people in the world, but I would be more concerned about the rude comments that people make about them. Plus, I don't know. Personally, I just don't think I would, like, there's a way to be on YouTube, I feel like, without, like, putting everything on blast. And I also want to create more positive commentary. That's what I like doing with my channel, and that is my whole goal, is to be more positive in life, right? You know, to have more uplifting content on social media. That's what I want. So yeah, the next pizza I'm going to make is going to be a hummus pizza. So I have my little Costco hummus. He's so good. I love him so much. I mean, I just want to eat him all night long. He's delicious. I love hummus. Hummus is just so delicious. And I don't know if I want to cut up more of my olives or not, because I feel like I already kind of did, right? I just love hummus. I feel like he needs more things added to him. But I'm trying to keep it simple. Like, I want to make a salad, but I don't know how late I want to be up either. I'm feeling like I do need an earlier bedtime this evening. Okay. It's going to have a lot of bell peppers on him, okay? So that's how I want it. I just want him to be a bell pepper world. Veggie-ish. He's very veggie-centric, okay? That's my goal. I'm just gonna make this one a veggie land. It's gonna be basically, I put one whole bell pepper between both of them. This one's looking good so far. Keep going. Keep going on and on and on and on. So yeah, I don't know what people think. I know a lot of people just are like, TikTok, it's so evil. It is evil. I don't know. It actually can be kind of fun, and it's not all that different than YouTube Shorts. I know people are just so worried about like the security problem, but honestly, I'm not saying that's good. I'm not saying it's a good thing, but other tech companies also use our data in ways we might not like, and don't join TikTok if you think that's a problem. But if your justification for wanting to ban TikTok is because, oh my god, they posted some bad videos on TikTok, they're doing the same thing on YouTube. Like, I guess somebody was saying, oh, there's some pro-Anna content, but they were doing that on YouTube too, so I don't know. I just think that's kind of not my thing to worry about. But people, I guess, are very concerned about this. It looks like they're probably going to end up banning TikTok in the US. I guess from a free speech thing, I don't know if I like the fact that they would take away a platform and say that we couldn't use it. I'm not saying I love, like, the data issues with TikTok. I don't think those are good, but I just feel like, do we really always want to be told, like, what platforms we can use? I feel like we should have a choice if we want to use it or not. And here's the thing. They've banned different websites in different countries, and America always criticizes countries that ban, like, certain websites. Are we going to be like that, too? Are we going to start... I just feel like it's a slippery slope. Do we really want to go there? I just don't think we can criticize other countries for banning, like, certain websites if we're going to do the same thing with TikTok. We have to think about that, you know? Anyhow, it looks like it's going to happen. It's a matter of time. There is bad content on there, but there's bad content on YouTube too sometimes. Like, I was just talking about that, like, where people are criticizing, you know, a mother for how she raises her child. Like, is that different? Not really. Well, you know, it is what it is, so social media is an interesting place. This one's about done, I think, so I'm going to get another plate. Actually, I have one down here. Use this plate. I need my spatula. I'll move him up here. Mr. Tortilla Pizza, you lay down right here. We're going to put the next one in. Oh, I know this one's pretty. He's pretty hummus heavy. He's a hummus laden tortilla pizza. Bell pepper fell off him. Stick him in. That next one is going to go. Okay, so here's my tortilla pizza that I have right now. This one has avocado and bell pepper. I'm like, but you can't put anything on a pizza on a tortilla pizza. You can put whatever you want on it. It's your tortilla pizza. Like, if you want to try other things, like if you want to make a hummus or an avocado tortilla pizza, you can do it. Like, there isn't a rule. Like, did somebody make a rule that said you had to do that? You can make whatever kind of tortilla pizza you want. I mean, honestly, I think it looks good. It's like avocado, bell pepper, and I put some oregano, and I use some of this, yes, it's healthy. That's the thing, too. Like, these guys are, like, kind of lower. Like, I'm not worried about calories per se, but if you were, they're lower calorie. This one's really good. That was really good. And I didn't put any salt on it because there's already salt on the tortilla. Well, I added some of the olive brine water because it's a little salty, and that was good. I don't eat salt in my food a lot. People are always worried about sugar, but I don't know. I kind of worry more about salt sometimes. I think a lot of things are just too salty sometimes. Like in general, like people add salt to salt food that I always think is super salty. I'm like, oh my gosh, like how can you add more salt to that? But growing up, we had like this thing called veggie salt that we used to buy, and it was like seasonings, like herbs mixed with a little bit of salt. So I just don't like a lot of salt in food, personally. It's really good. Okay, this one. Some more time. It's really good. I kind of like tortillas better than... I do like flatbread, but I feel like if you don't make the flatbread do it yourself, like a lot of the ingredients in the flatbread, I don't really like. Like, I need to go somewhere where I could buy a healthier flatbread, like Trader Joe or something, but you could just make it yourself. It's so good. Okay. I also have my grapefruit orange smoothie that I'm eating on. This is, people think grapefruit is bitter, but I kind of like it. I kind of like it. I do like it. It's for me. It's not for people that don't like grapefruit. I'll tell you that much. If you don't like grapefruit, you wouldn't like it. I think this is a way to get kids to eat more vegetables. Like if you're struggling with a child to eat vegetables, make a vegetable tortilla pizza, like little pizza, and you could trick them in, not trick them, but you know, entice them into like trying vegetables. It's good. I really like it actually. Let's talk about the Layla song soon, or Eric Clapton. Layla. Okay, so the story of Layla and Monjun, it's so sad, it's so depressing. I love the song Layla by Eric Clapton, but it's just very sad. It's a very sad story if you read it. But I do think the story of Layla and Monjun is better than Romeo and Juliet. I do think that. But the thing that I don't really like about Layla or Eric Clapton is he just was so wanting to be with George Harrison's wife. He just, oh my God, he had to have her. And once he finally got her, okay? Once he finally got what he wanted, he didn't want her anymore. And I just think there's something very weird about that. So I love the song Layla, but just when you know, like the end result, like he just wanted to be, Eric Clapton wanted to be with George Harrison's wife, and then in the end he ended up not wanting her really. And their marriage was problematic and it ended in divorce. And I'm like, well, that's kind of a buzzkill, but it kind of makes me think, maybe it's in line with Layla Majnun. I don't know. In a way, like it's just a tragic thing. So I love the song Layla because Layla is a beautiful name. But I wouldn't want to be Eric Clapton or George Harrison. Certainly not. Neither one. But I do love the song. I think we can like a song, or think the song's beautiful, without not necessarily. Sometimes I want to appreciate art, like music, or literature, or a movie, without knowing more about it, like what's behind it. I just want to appreciate, like I can like a movie, but I don't need to obsess about the actor. Does that make any sense? Yes, imagine all the. I love Abbey Road. It's a good. Well, I don't know if Imagine is from Abbey Road, but I do love that. If I play it though, I would get probably not. But you can actually on shorts a little bit. You can kind of play. I like the Beatles, but I like the Moody Blues a little bit better. But for some reason, I just lately really love Scorpions and Phil Collins. And I go through phases. I like different things. I'm loving Earth, Wind, and Fire as well. Yeah. I'm liking some newer songs too, but I don't know their names yet. I'll have to look them up. Yeah, Eric Clapton's 77. That makes sense. Okay, so Layla's from 1970 and Imagine, they both came out in 1970, right? When you think about it, though, they were both such young men. George Harrison and Eric Clapton, they were young. I would say, though, one thing about music from the 70s, 60s, 70s, and 80s, it's like some of the best music that will ever be put out, honestly. I don't know. There's just, that was an era of music that there's just something, like some people say it's going to fade, but I don't think so. There's something very creative, especially among the British. Yeah, I don't like the drug part, but I love like the creativity that came out of it. John Lodge of the Moody Blues, you know, he never did drugs and he didn't really drink either. Like I think he might have drank. He drinks wine, but he never like did like drugs like other musicians. So some of them didn't go crazy on the drug scene. Unfortunately, Prince did die from prescription medication, they think, due to his back. But if you look at his life and his tour, like when he was touring, and I love Prince, he was very clean. He was very squeaky clean. Like, he didn't want people drinking or doing drugs on his tours. Like, he was all about people being, and so was Madonna. Like, Madonna's not even my favorite. But there were a few musicians that didn't, you know, all, yes, in general, you have a lot of drugs and alcohol and whatnot, but some of them, you know, actually were pretty on the straight and narrow. some of them did drugs without getting addicted, which to me sounds crazy. I don't know how you just do some cocaine and then you stop. That's nuts. But I guess John Taylor of Duran Duran said, yeah, he said, like, he has an addiction problem. He said some of the guys in the band did, like, drugs with him, but he was the one that was addicted. Like, they would do a little bit, and then they would just stop. Like, I don't know how you can do that. How can you just do a little bit of that, and then you just stop? But I guess he said, like, he was up all night, and he'd be up, wanting to be up the next day, and he was so addicted that he called his mom when he was in New York and said that he wanted to do, because he was high as a kite, he wanted to do some sort of, like, duet with his priest. It got a little Looney Tunes there. I'm like, okay. The drug part I don't like, but I do love the creativity that came out of that era. But I guess you need to, I mean, I don't know. I'm not really a fan of Stephen King's writing. I feel like it's super creepy. It's not my thing. But people used to like his books more when he drank. And then after he got hit by the car and sobered up, I guess they weren't as, like, crazy and trippy, and people didn't like him as much anymore. Yeah, that's true. Some of them... It's sad, though, that Prince, in the end, like, yes, he did end up overdosing on prescription medication. The thing about Prince, though, is later in life, he did overdose on prescription medication, but he had a back injury from, because he used to wear high heels. He used to jump off pianos and do, like, acrobatic things. So he had, like, a slip disc in his back, and he got addicted to, like, some pain medication. So that was the problem. And apparently that's very addictive. But when he was younger, during his touring days, he did not tolerate, like, doing, like, drugs on the set. So I'm not saying what Prince did was right. I don't think he should have gotten addicted to that point. But you do have to think, gosh, like, he was so athletic, and but maybe you shouldn't jump off pianos wearing high heels. I don't know. Maybe that would be my recommendation. Like, if you think that you want to do that, maybe you shouldn't do that. Maybe you shouldn't do crazy things, you know. But when he was younger, he didn't do drugs. But yes, he did die of an overdose. That was too bad, because he was so creative. And it's sad that a lot of them, and then some of them lived, like Boy George was saying, he goes, he doesn't know how he lived. I love Boy George, the Culture Club, by the way. He did a lot of drugs. He was, like, high as a kite until a few years ago. In fact, like, he ended up, like, having to do some community service in New York, and he got deported almost, pretty much, because he called the police, and they found drugs in his house, and he's alive. It's crazy how some of them are high as a kite. They do crazy amounts of drugs, and they live, and then others, like, I don't know. There's no rhyme or reason to it. But don't do drugs, my friends. Don't drink. Just leave the stuff alone. Like, I feel like if you are a creative person, you don't need it. Just don't do it. Like, but you know, now, like, there's people that do Adderall. And then what's the new thing? There's people that want to take a diabetic drug that makes diabetic people lose weight. And now they're saying that they want to take this drug because they're morbidly obese and they think that's a way to lose weight. Please don't do that, because what are the side effects? People were saying right now what they do know. I don't even remember what the name of this drug was, but I guess it causes, like, a lot of issues, like, on the back end. Like, I don't know. People do a lot. If you want to lose weight, just do it the traditional way. It's going to take longer. And yeah, I'm not saying sugar's good, but I do think there's other things people eat that might not be good either, like KFC. I don't think that's good either. Like, moderation, you know? Exercise, walking. I'm just like, I don't know. I believe in a health-conscious life. Like, I don't think drinking's good either, you know? These little tortilla pizzas were really good, though, because they just have, like, bell pepper, hummus, avocado. Very light and very... These are just... I'm interested in music, but I might not know as much as some people. I'm just very fascinated, but I love history as well. So do I have a solution for like YouTube Karen comments? Not really. But I'm wondering, I feel like Karen culture is kind of, or Karens, or Karen comments, or trolley comments, or wanting to micromanage everybody. I just feel like it's a very American thing, because British people don't do that. British people don't sit there. They might not agree with how their neighbor's doing something, but they don't go knock on their neighbor's door and like tell them how to do it. Like, I just think Americans are tone deaf. Like, you know, you can think like, oh, like somebody should do something better. But I'm going to guarantee right now, if you want to be rude and blunt and just say things in a certain way that the Americans think flies, you're not going to make somebody change their mind. But I'm not trying to change the world either. So I feel like in the future when I see comments like that, I just need to scroll away. I don't really want to comment on people being rude, because it's not like I'm going to make them stop being rude either. I'm just thinking, really, did you think, like, you purposely, intentionally went to a video of somebody with a child that you don't like how they're raising their child, and you intentionally, continuously go to their videos, like, some of them had comments going back months and months and months, going back, so you can tell them that they don't do this right and they don't do that right. You weren't... This is why I don't think I would put my kid on social media. Or, like, I know, like, people are like, oh, but you get the views for... I don't know. I feel... It feels a little uncomfortable for me. I feel like the only context I would think that maybe it's okay is, like, if you're doing a recipe video, or you're doing something very contained, or maybe like you're doing like, this is how you could teach your child how to do math, like something that's educational or entertainment in a way that, I don't know, it doesn't lead to like a lot of extreme criticism, because I feel like we don't want to feed that type of section of the population that just wants to see a thrill, or who is looking for gossip, or who's looking to I don't know. But everybody has their own opinion on these things. At the end of the day, these people do seek out these channels, and then people make content knowing something is going to be controversial. That's why I don't get, like, why do you want to post controversial things? I don't want to see them, honestly. I don't know. I think people know what they're doing when they post stuff like that, maybe too, to some extent, because maybe they're okay with it. I used to kind of feel bad for people, like, when it seemed like somebody was kind of being rude to them in the comments. I thought, well, they never really respond. Maybe they really kind of know what they're doing and they don't care, because for them, any kind of engagement's engagement. But you see, to me, I feel like the people that comment on your channel should be like the people you would invite to your house party. I don't think you'd want to just invite anybody to your house party. I don't think you'd want to invite somebody that's being snobby, or somebody that's using curse words, even if they use hashtags, or they use like a $sign standing for the letter S. You still said the same thing. I don't know. I don't think I'd want that segment of the population commenting on my videos or coming to my house party. Like, personally, that's why what you get with me on videos is also what you get in real life. I'm just always the same. Like, I don't have like a stage persona. I'm just very much who I am at all times. And with that being said, I am more on the introverted side, even though I love to do YouTube and I like to talk to the camera and share thoughts. I'm just at a point in my life where I have no tolerance, or zero tolerance, for people that just want to be rude, or like kind of bicker, or engage in this Karen culture thing. But I do think the Karen phenomenon is very American. I also think being a little bit too obsessed with telling people how they can do things better is a very Karen American concept, I feel like. Because I just don't see Europeans doing that. I don't see people like Middle Eastern people or South American people, like the whole Karen thing. I don't know. Do you ever hear about a Swedish Karen? It's not really a thing. Like, I think Americans are a little entitled in that they feel like they need to comment on what everybody's doing. Maybe there's a way of being on social media without being like micromanaging on social media, or just like feeling like it's always about being rude to some. I don't know. These are just my thoughts, and I don't think I put my child on social media just because I wouldn't want to deal with some of the weird comments that people make on it. Just my opinion, but I can't tell people what to do. If you want to put your child on social media, maybe you're okay with that. Maybe you like that. Maybe you enjoy that kind of engagement. I'm just like, I don't really enjoy it, but I personally think let's maybe keep the kids off social media so they don't have to deal with that. You know, my thoughts. Anyway, thanks for watching.